This is Rogues on the Road with Matt Froman and Rich Marshall, where we talk food, travel, craft beverages, and everything in between.
Hi, I'm Rich. Welcome to Rogues on the Road podcast, where we discuss food, travel, and adventure, and everything in between.
Everything in between. I'm Matt, and we have a special guest today.
Hi.
There we go. I'm like, why do I sound so far away?
Hello.
Why do I sound like I'm talking from a shoebox or something? So we have a very special guest. Margie Nugent is here with us. She's a very dear friend of ours. I've known her for years. She is very talented in many areas.
You guys used to work together?
We did, yeah,
yeah.
we did, and we'll dabble in that.
Oh, God.
But she is kind of our spiritual guru leader, and she's going to be sharing some pretty cool stuff tonight. So we're super excited to have you on.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So glad to be here.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thanks.
As usual, we should start with beer, just to
Why
get
not?
things flowing.
Absolutely.
So
It's 5:30 someplace.
it is.
Yeah. So we have a special beer tonight.
Yeah, you found a beer out of Washington, D.C., right?
Washington, D.C. Absolutely.
Right Proper Brewing, they're called? Right Proper Brewing.
Right proper. It's got
Brilliant.
like a good...
British Right Proper Brewing, mate.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So they're out of D.C. This particular ale came from DeChico's Markets, where we get a lot of our ale. It's an unusual ale. It's a sour. So
I'm enjoying the sours recently.
you do.
Yeah, I don't know why. They started off rough a few years ago, and they were like vinegar.
Yeah.
And but they've softened down a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
More drinkable, and they're doing a bunch of fun stuff with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm leaning a little bit more towards them. They're like bright and refreshing and crispy, and this one is one of my favorites I've had. And you haven't tried this one yet.
I have not.
So this is brewed in DC. It's brewed with lactobacillus, so it's the same bacteria that you find in your gut, in your
Great.
in
No
your
wonder it's
yogurt.
sour.
in your yogurt, in your genitals.
Oh, God.
It's found in many places. It's a friendly bacteria, but it produces lactic acid, so it makes it a sour. So I'll pour it out.
And it is called Diamonds and Fur Coats.
Diamond and Fur Coats. So it's geared more like a brut champagne, and that's the kind of experience that they wanted to have. And do you want me to read the
Sure.
Okay, so this beer. Do we have any like soft music? Okay.
Yeah, we're playing something right now.
Yeah, like
Something
this
sexy.
is going to be really sexy.
Is it? Oh, God. Hands to yourself, Margie.
This is zesty, floral, refreshing. This tart wheat beer is fermented with lactobacillus and brewed
baby.
with Meyer lemon zest. I am actually getting warm. Elderflowers and dry hopped with Nelson Sauvin, which I do not know what that is.
No. God
So
bless
if
you.
anybody knows what that is, please chime in.
Let us know.
We wrote this, meaning DC, proper brewer, to mimic the floral, citrus, and grape character of brut champagne. All right?
It's a Belgian, right?
It's a wheat beer.
Usually Belgians.
Yeah, and these guys in DC use a lot of wild yeast and lactobacillus. They do some typical beers, but they love to have fun with this, the wild zest kind of thing. So I'm going to pour from this new container.
Which is called...
I'll show it to you. You want to explain why I pour?
Do you want to explain why you pour?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
I'm going to do a photo of it.
This is a new kind of growler. Has it been on the market for long, mate?
Do we have a shot of it?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Sorry for my shaky hands. All right. So this is Growler Works. It's been on the market for quite some time. I think it started out as a GoFundMe kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And it's basically a growler that actually has a CO2 cartridge in it. You can adjust the pressure. You have a little pressure gauge.
That's cool.
It's copper plated. It's well built, and because you have CO2 in it, the beer doesn't go bad.
Right.
But my issue is I never have beer in here long enough. So,
For it to go bad.
so either we have to get a big one. They're great because we actually batch up when Rich and I do we'll do tastings. We'll batch up whole cocktails in these, and it's a nice way to keep cocktails as well, not just beer.
Right. How do you keep temperature control?
The temp, it's either got to be in the fridge or keep it on ice or something like that. And it's Growler Works
With an E.
with an E.
So it's works.
Works.
And they are out of, I checked them out, they're out of Portland, Oregon.
No. Oh, Growler Works. Yes, they're out of Portland, Oregon.
And they start like 170.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon, and I think I paid $146, something like that.
Okay.
Yes, it's a little expensive. They're very well built, and it's also a conversation piece. You know, you show up to a party with something like this, it's just kind of fun.
Let's go. While you're pouring, I'll hand them out.
Okay, and because it was kind of champagne-y, Margie, you might like it, and it's kind of like you're here. I have blood orange, so we're gonna drop a blood orange in each one.
You had me a blood orange, Matt.
Yeah, I can already see where this show's going. Oh dear. Give it a squeeze and see what you think. The orange, I mean. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, it doesn't say, it's not like a Blue Moon beer where you add the orange to it. Blood oranges are in season right now, so why not?
And they're sexy.
Right. And this is only, I think it's about 3 to 4%. So it's low alcohol by volume, so you can drink an entire growler's worth and you're fine.
Thank you so much.
So, cheers to
Cheers,
this
my
week's
Cheers,
sour
all.
beer.
Cheers, to you.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Now that's a sour. Ooh, that's a sour. Isn't it?
That's good.
It's like tart, refreshing. It takes your palate, if you're not used to it,
Like a vinegar.
a little bit like a sweet tart.
No.
I get. No? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
It's probably good for your sinuses too.
And it's lactobacillus, so it's
It's good for digestion.
it's probiotics. It's good for digestion. So
Very good, mate.
it's a nice refreshing.
And
one.
the blood orange just takes the edge off.
Yeah, that was just a last minute thing
Yeah.
that we were kind of doing. It was either going to work or it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So
It's making a lot of spit,
well,
right?
Just get your juices flowing.
Yeah.
There you go.
do you want to have this with it?
No.
What is that?
The gypsies go no.
No.
Okay, so
Two gypsies
Uh-uh.
on board.
you know.
Two gypsies make a right.
This is a little food bit. We got a couple of food bits this week.
Yeah.
This actually came from a friend of ours by the name of Ed Gerard. He is the manager at Orvis Shooting Grounds up in Millbrook, New York. He is. Hopefully, we'll have him on at some point.
Yeah,
he's
really cool.
He's a foodie. He's got his own hot sauce company, and he loves to make jerky. And he's really good at it. So we had this morning. This is actually moose jerky.
How do you make jerky? Just dry it out.
No, actually, you can dry it out. You can dehydrate it.
Right.
You usually marinate it for a period of time, and then dry it out. Some people can puree the meat and then kind of like put it out on a sheet pan and then dry it.
Right.
This is real. What Ed does with his hot sauces and jerkies.
I'm tearing already.
Okay. So this says, and it's very good. So Ed, thank you. The name on it is NFP.
Not for.
Not for P, but we can. I'm not cool with saying that on air, but we kind of did it. So NFTW, not for the weak.
The weak.
Yeah.
Or the weary.
Ed likes really spicy food.
All right.
And it's very good. Do you want to give it a try?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm coming over.
Coming over.
Coming over.
Going in.
I might
You
have.
have to, man.
All right, I'll man up.
Just like small.
All right.
Where's the buffalo from? Buffalo?
Well, it's buffalo comes from.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York.
This is
I'm
moose.
good.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good.
You sure?
I am so good.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's spicy.
It's spicy, but it's addicting, and
Woo.
it goes really well with the sour.
Oh, that's not. Wait, I got it.
It's good, mate.
Okay, there you go.
Ooh, it's spicy.
It's spicy. but
Yeah.
it's delicious.
There is, and it's not as chewy as regular jerky.
Right.
Yeah,
just,
right.
Just wait a second.
Yeah, it does kick in after a moment.
Just give it a second. Ed didn't tell me that this morning.
There's a spicy.
So we were working. He's like, "Here, try my jerky."
Okay.
I said, "All right." Next thing I was like, it was a 4-alarm fire, which is going to happen. So just give it a second.
Starting to eat up.
Yeah.
It's going to start to heat up.
All right.
It's okay.
Baby steps on that.
Have a sour.
Yeah, they will.
Have a sour.
So,
So,
very good.
yeah.
So what you been up to since the last podcast?
We have a lot of updates,
We do have a few.
and you have a couple of updates from last podcast,
Well,
or last episode.
the last podcast we did announce that we are going to be doing the extreme toboggan run
Yep.
in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yep.
So we thought, how can we get extreme with this? And we thought, what about getting an old couch and an old coffee table and an old TV, and we'll strap some skis to the bottom of them, and we'll go flying down the mountain
Yeah, for a good cause.
for a good cause,
So if there is snow,
which
we're
is looking doubtful.
which is
right
looking
now.
doubtful right now at 60 degrees here in New York. And yeah, you're happy. I'm happy because I can go mountain biking again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's going to be an update. We'll see what happens. The couch is currently being we're working on it, but we're trying to figure out how to strap skis to it. So that's going to be interesting.
Shrink wrap was another option.
And shrink wrap
Yeah,
is like
it's like glass going down.
yeah.
Friggin' nice.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
And what else? You had an update from the beer.
Oh, that's right. Last week we discussed the Pisner from where was it from?
Denmark.
That's from Denmark.
Yeah.
So I looked everywhere for a sample of the Pisner and was very unsuccessful. So I emailed the company that produces Pisner, and they are currently out of stock, but they are working on a new batch.
That doesn't sound good.
It doesn't, right? So
I don't know what's more upsetting: the fact that it's
Sold out?
It's sold
it's sold out, and they're preparing a new
Or-
batch. So
It was
I have
one
a
of those.
I have a vision of a bunch of old guys just chowing down liquids to get the supply of the going.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. And
So-
my question is real quick. My question is, do they drink certain kind of beers or liquids to give a certain kind of aroma or fragrance?
Do I have
or
to
flavor?
kind of like
have to
asparagus
respond?
beer.
Yeah. Or pineapple beer, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with this Pilsner beer,
Is
it's
it code?
yeah, it's actually it
They use urine.
basically what they
in
do
the
is
process.
they fertilize barley fields with human urine.
Yep.
And then they harvest the barley, they malt it. And then
They hit up
they make a beer.
festivals and collect the urine
Yeah.
for to
Yeah.
scatter their fields.
Time and a place. So that was updated. So we'll see what happens. I just can't imagine the federal government allowing something like that into this country. But you said you'd give it a try.
I'll give it a go.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can.
Well, it's-
Can I have some more
Well,
moose
it-
jerky?
What?
Can I have some more moose jerky?
he likes the moose jerky.
I like it.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
NFP Ed. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Cheers, Ed.
We're gonna see Ed at Beefsteak.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
that'd be cool.
So what else you got going on?
We managed to get a weekend of skiing in.
Yes.
We went up to Hunter Mountain this weekend. Conditions were air.
Yeah.
I fell on my ass in the first run.
Okay.
Busted my ass.
Yeah. As you ran over me.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was a
He's
bit-
like, oh mate.
boom.
Yeah.
And I was done for the rest of the day.
No, you
But I
kept-
manned
you
up.
were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day.
And there's some great lift ticket prices out there. So if you go to, I went to our local ski house, which is our local ski shop, and they had $35 lift tickets as
Yeah.
opposed to 75.
Yeah.
And if you go to Liftopia too, they have a bunch of.
Liftopia.com. These are phenomenal websites that offer discount ski tickets. And right now, it seems like the heat of it, or the cold of it, or the heat of it, seems to be the midweek specials. You can get some incredible deals.
Yeah.
It's just finding time to do it.
Right,
That's
right,
all.
right.
But cool.
That's about it, mate. Yeah, not much else.
Okay.
Went to the movies, saw The Darkest Hour.
Yep.
Superb movie.
Yeah.
So and,
Gary Oldman's
Gary
phenomenal.
Oldman did such a great job.
Yeah.
So 2-hour film, but flew by.
Okay.
So that's me.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few updates.
Okay.
So Victoria got back to us.
About the lobster.
About lobster. There's a big debate now happening. I love lobster, and we talked about it last week. And there's scientific evidence that lobsters do feel pain, not in the same way that we do, but they can feel it.
They cry, Matt. They cry.
They cry. So I've always mechanically killed the lobster before I put it in the pot, and apparently even that doesn't work. So much so that Switzerland has banned boiling lobsters. So, and considering my summertime job in college was boiling 300 pounds of lobster at one time,
You would have been out of a job if you lived in Switzerland.
I am taking the Hell Express.
There you are.
So so that's the update on that. I had a couple of other things. I was up at Albany Food and Wine Festival. I had escargot this weekend, but it was pureed and put into a tart. I've never had pureed escargot. It was phenomenal.
Really?
And it was a restaurant up in Albany called Provence. And it was absolutely phenomenal. I would never have thought to puree escargot and then put it into a tart. No, Margie.
I love escargot.
Guess what I brought for you?
I love you guys so much.
But you're
I
weird.
don't know how you eat what you eat.
That's what life's all about. You got to try it.
That's it. Try
That's
once.
it. Yeah,
Did you draw little S's on the side of your car?
I did.
You did?
I did. I did. I
watch.
put salt on it, and it just kind of melted.
So you could hear people say, look at that escargot.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good, mate.
That was good.
That's from Trading Places. Come
That's
on.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well played, Randolph.
Oh,
And then I actually reconnected with a good friend of mine. I haven't seen in years, and actually there's kind of a connection with Margie, a friend of mine, Rocio, that I grew up with. We lost contact, very close to my mother. She has become almost like a Peruvian shaman. She's an incredible girl. Shaman, medicine woman.
Okay.
And so I took her out, and we went and did some hiking on Sunday. We went down to Audubon Sanctuary on the Hudson River, and the eagles are out. So eagles are in for winter feeding grounds. So we got to see a few immature, not mature eagles.
That's awesome.
But that was pretty neat. But
By
that's
the Hudson?
right on the Hudson River, opposite West Point.
Right.
We'll obviously put the links on to these. If you get a chance to go up to the Audubon Center,
Gavison, right.
Rich and I lived there for a while,
Yep.
and it's a beautiful spot. It's a great spot to go birding if you're into that, and to see eagles is pretty phenomenal. They're very majestic. And most people don't think you can see it. Eagles. Well,
Yeah.
You can see them all the way down almost to New York City.
Right.
So they're out. So make sure you keep your eyes out and look for them.
I think one of your ex-students just gave you a shout-out. Solomon Zeiser?
Oh yeah,
Mr. Froman!
Oh, listening. That's great.
Solly.
Solly.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And Rosa, she's a #1 fan. She's hanging with us.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
looking. That's great. Hi guys. Any of my past students that are listening,
And my past students.
and your
Yeah.
past students, because Marge and I work together.
Yes, we did.
What did
So-
you teach?
I was the assistant to the principal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for quite a few years. That's how we met.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah, and we're gonna dive deep into that one in a few minutes. So the sphere.
all right. So Tech Bites.
This is a tech bite moment.
Okay, so a good friend of mine, Carolyn Schneider, and colleague, she is the queen of tech goods and not so goods.
Yep.
So she lent us this product called where is it? How do you say it?
It's
Saphir.
say it.
Spherificator.
Spherificator. It's a Spherificator.
Sphericator. The Sphericator.
And what it does, it turns Food and
It's
drink.
clean. This is
a Spherificator.
Sounds a little dirty.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you wait.
It's
You wait.
Wait till you gotta clean it.
It's exactly that kind of
The
show.
explanation is turns food and liquids into pearls.
Well, I bet it does.
Oh, it does. Well, it should do.
We had a interest. So the history on the Sphericator goes back to what's a very famous chef from El Bull.
Just a place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million reservation requests that go out for this restaurant. It's in Spain, it was El Bulli, and it he basically was experimenting back in the early 2000s with molecular gastronomy. So he took sodium was it sodium agitate, I think? Sodium aginate, which is a thickener. You get it from kelp. It's not, some chemical made in the lab. It's actually, and it's a thickener. And if you add it to liquids, foods,
It's not thicket. We should have used thicket.
I could give that a try. It probably has the same
ingredient
sodium aginate in it. And so it makes these. You can make spherical balls that are out of liquor, cocktails,
Ice cream?
Yep.
ice cream,
Absolutely.
Anything you can puree, anything you can imagine, you can turn into these little flavor bombs.
Like little caviars.
Flavor, right? So, I mean, great for like seafood, oysters. There's saffron pearls. There's, imagination.
Yeah.
Just about anything, and that's what we tried doing this week.
We did try. It was very time consuming. But we did try. You were going to do something with an old fashioned originally, right?
So I was going to do. Sorry, Gypsy's going to laugh on this. I was going to do old fashioned balls. What? What's so funny?
Are you going to use your own?
What's so fun? I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. So old-fashioned balls. I was going to do just old-fashioned, basically, with bitters and some maple syrup, and make basically everything for an old-fashioned Luxardo syrup, and then drop that into cold bourbon. So I thought that would be really cool.
That'd been cool.
But that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. And I was going to, as I mentioned last week, as I tried the jewel and was a little disappointed and never got around to doing the cheesecakes, I was going to do the cheesecakes with the jewel and then put my strawberry pearls on top.
Your strawberry
My
pearls.
strawberry pearls on top. So we have a little video of our experience using the Sphericator. That could be it. Sphericator?
The Sphericator.
Sphericator.
Sphericator. Sphericator.
Have another drink, Rich.
But Rich, you have a
But
British
is it
accent.
cold? Does it have to be cold?
No.
So you can do pizza?
It has to be in liquid form.
Yeah. You could do pizza essence. Or you could just take or what you could do is just
Essence of pizza.
I'd just take a couple slices of pizza, put it in the blender, and make a snowball out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're good to go. And deep fry it, and then you're fine. Deep fry it, you're fine. Anything deep fried, you're fine. So, are we going to show this?
This shit show?
It's a shit show.
Shit show.
It's a bit of an epic fail.
Yeah.
But
Here it is.
here we go. All right.
There she blows. This was the preparation for the cheesecake balls.
If you're going to do this, you need a hand blender. Absolutely. It's not even worth that donut.
The first attempt, they came out like little tadpoles, so we redid it, and these are the pearls.
Yeah. The cheesecake, I'm excited to try.
Cheesecake came out really good. So basically, you just make the cake of the cheesecake. I jeweled it for an hour and a half at $1.79, I think.
And everything, so it's all in the mason jar.
Correct.
Actually, I like that, because then you can just make individual servings.
Absolutely.
Put them in your fridge.
Yep.
They're already pasteurized.
Yep. And that's what we got at the end of it.
Okay.
So if you want, give it a go if you want.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Sphericators online. You can go onto Amazon if you really want to. Actually, I like that, because then you can just make individual servings. Put them in your fridge. What was that?
How do I stop that?
No, it's not you. It's us.
I wanted to see the comments if there was anybody online.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to do this, you can go on Amazon. There's definitely different levels of it. I don't know if it's worth the effort.
No, and we do have to return this one because we ruined it.
How long is the process to make it?
It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of washing. The balls that weren't balls, that were more like
Tadpoles.
worms,
Yeah.
they tasted okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it was worth,
There
like.
might be a market for that, though.
Right, like, oh, honey, what did you do today? Well, I got to make dinner. I got to make the balls. I just don't think that's going to be
Whose balls, honey?
right. I don't know if that's a practical kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to revisit and see if we can get it to work.
Yeah.
So right now we can't get it to work.
No.
But and we have to buy a new one to replace because we broke it.
Yes.
Break it, you buy it.
Breaky you buy.
Maybe you could get requests on what people want to see as balls.
Oh.
Well, if you've got ideas, and that's a really good idea, Margie.
I'd like some blood orange balls.
Actually, blood orange, like citrus balls. I feel like it's like chocolate sweaty balls.
I was going to
Sweaty
add
balls.
that. I was going to put that music up.
Yep. Let's bring up Saturday Night Live while we're at it. Yep. There's all sorts.
So we can dig into this?
Yeah, take away.
Okay.
So you did this.
I did this. I used just a cookie crumb and then the non-balled simple syrup on top.
Yeah.
So
And that's a nice thing because this is a nice serving, and you can make a bunch of them.
Yep.
And if you're doing it in the sous vide, it's pasteurized.
yeah.
This is like regular, like, it's no mousse or...
No. There's
Snail or-
there's no frog gonads in this. There's
And no balls.
there might be a little dog hair.
Is it?
No, you're good, man. There's no. It's dog hair free. But in both of our, if you know us, in our household, there's probably dog hair somewhere. Oh, that is
Not bad,
really
right?
good.
What does it remind you of? Reminds me of Christmas.
It does. It has a little bit of
Cinnamon,
a
right?
pumpkin
Yeah.
spice note
Yeah.
to it. Oh,
This is good.
Not shabby.
It's like pie.
is it whole milk, skim milk?
It's buttermilk.
Oh shit. Okay. So it comes with a free angioplasty.
Yeah, and cream cheese.
So very low in calories.
Not so many.
No. Okay. Well, you know what? Small amount.
Yep.
It's really good.
Good to go.
That is very good. Can you get this recipe?
I got this recipe on my app for the jewel.
Okay, so that's the jewel.
It's the jewel recipe for the cheesecake and the attempt of the balls with the top of the cheesecake.
Right.
But
Now, last episode, you didn't like the jewel, and I love it
I know.
because I'm a bit of a dork. But
people still swear by it.
I love it.
Okay.
What do you think about after doing a very successful?
I don't think I'd buy one to create just cheesecake.
Would you just borrow it from me when you wanted?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
good.
we'll come up with a fun gadget for next week's, and I have something in mind. So we'll
Yeah,
work it
if you
out.
have, those of you that are listening, if you have ideas
Yeah.
for gadgets that you want us to try out,
Yeah.
as long as they don't hurt much,
No cow
No.
prods?
no clamps.
there's probably something for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no clamps, no prods or prodding or anything like that, but something to do with food or beverage. We will put our life on the line and try it out.
There you go.
I was a little nervous that we were going to get electrocuted when. Yeah.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. So time is ticking. We
Okay.
should move on to our fun guest, Margie.
Margie.
Hey, baby.
So,
So you guys work together,
yeah.
and you left, and you stayed in contact just over the years.
I
We have a special bond.
yeah, she we have a little bit of a we have a, yeah, she saved my life. Those of that are listening that were at Schechter on that great day, and I'm like, I don't need to go to the hospital.
Oh, bee sting day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Very calmly told me you had 17 bee stings,
Yeah.
and I'm allergic.
Yeah.
And what did I do?
You're like, you have to go. I'm like, I think I'm okay, as I was like profusely sweating. And
So I broke into the nurse's office, grabbed an EpiPen, threw it in my car, and brought him to Westchester Med.
Very good.
yeah. And I woke up 4 hours later with a priest
your
over.
leg in the car.
Yeah.
I had your phone calling your wife,
Yep.
and I got talked to on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. It was that was a interesting moment, and from that point, well, we were always bonded.
Yeah.
We've always been bonded for whatever reason. But you've got a really amazing background, and I know you're kind of our spiritual leader, if we had one.
I don't need one.
Oh, okay.
No, I need one.
Oh,
You do need one.
Oh,
Margie's right next to you.
now
I
I'll
got
go
you,
one.
babe.
Cheers, darling.
Yeah. So, explain a little bit. You do a lot, and we could probably sit here for hours. But spiritually, what do you like? How's your journey begun? What are you doing now, and what are you concentrating on?
Well, right now my concentration is on healing body work,
Okay.
and I do that with body paint, and I do that with henna.
And the difference between body paint and henna would be
One is natural plant from the earth,
that's henna.
the henna,
Okay.
and one of it is like it's a high pigment cosmetic. Same paint that's used when you see face painting at carnivals
Okay.
and stuff like that. It's the same paint, but the application is of course different because I'm working the full canvas of the body.
Wow.
And I always thought that you were just doing it because you're an artist.
Or you
I
like
didn't
seeing people
didn't
naked.
realize that there was this other component to it.
Well, it's been a long journey. So it started out as just a way to make some extra money. I was painting faces.
Yeah.
I came from a domestic violence background, which you know.
Yep.
And it was the first exposure I had back to my art after about 20 years, and I started to heal while I was painting.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I was expressing my
Yeah,
art. I
yeah.
was working with kids, and
Yeah.
it started to become something I was really looking forward to. And you know, and with the other stuff that I was doing for myself, I was doing Tai Chi. I was doing a lot of body connecting things because you lose your connection with your body when you go through trauma, right? So this was a way that I felt I was healing. Until one day I realized when I was applying this, people were being changed.
And healed themselves.
Well, I don't know how to. You're bringing happiness to people.
Right.
When I was working with the kids, and it may be the only happiness they had that week.
Right.
You know. So, and every time they would come in my chair, I was hugging them.
Yeah.
You know. I went to a convention and I saw body painting and I saw henna and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know all this existed, and I was like, oh, I can never do that. And when I started doing it, I was realizing that when I was doing it, I became into a certain flow, and I felt the energy that would go through me. And then I was getting reported back from the people I was working on that they were feeling something.
Wow.
So there wasn't a lot of talk about this. You know, a lot of artists are in that atheist mode, you
Right,
know,
right, right.
and younger than me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm starting this in my 40s, and you know, now I'm 50. And they, the pieces are very. It's interesting when you paint a body because you're working on 360 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're working on a full body.
Yeah.
I'm spending a lot of time with this person. So then I started to receiving messages when I was working on them, and we would talk. And by the end of the session, we were kind of bonded. So they were, you know, easier to come back to me and say, you know what, since we did this body painting, I'm not having pain here, or
Oh, yeah.
I jumped in a lake and and I've had chronic pain for years. I was never able to do that, or I started a blog, or it's like they shifted.
And it's interesting because when you're doing like full body paint, you are kind of surrendering yourself. You're at the most vulnerable you could. I mean, if you're naked and somebody's painting you, I mean,
Well, yeah.
that's
You must have seen some stuff.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but the stuff is, you know, when you go through a chronic illness or you go through an abuse or some kind of trauma, you get like a body dysmorphia.
Right.
So now I have a woman stripping down naked in front of me, whose body she doesn't recognize anymore, and I'm turning it into a work of art.
Right.
But we're also having this conversation. You know, so there's just a healing that's going on
Right.
there, and
And a bit of therapy at the same time.
yeah, and if you do it at the later stages when they're just about to reconnect with their body, that's where the magic happens.
Wow.
You know, they've had it done, you know, some of the previous work.
Hmm.
But even with the henna, there's many times I've sat down with women and I've just touched them and they've started to cry.
Wow.
And then we connect and we talk about what's going on, and it's good for me, it's good for them.
Yeah.
And,
You know.
and it's funny if you, so Margie obviously we'll talk about this towards the end, but you've got a website, you've got some social media that people can find you on. But when I see photos of you working on, you always have this really kind of just at peace, happy expression.
That or a resting bitch face. It's either or. It's
Oh, there's plenty of those around.
Yeah, it's hard to distinguish.
it's hard to distinguish.
Yeah. It's a fine line.
I'm gonna keep it at half full and say you're, you know, like, but you do you have this look on you when on a lot of the photos, and it's pretty cool to see. And so what is it? Just body artwork, henna? Does it sometimes morph into both?
Do I do both at the same time?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I do them separately. I had one person that I was seeing on a regular basis she had the weirdest thing happen to her. An infection started in her body, really like a freak thing. It was really freak. It was nothing that was, an illness that was already present. And she went through a lot of chronic pain. And I would meet with her like every 2 months and put henna on her. And the last time I met with her, she was like, I've been pain-free for a month.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very amazing. And I just had what was it now? It's probably a year and a half ago. I had a film in festival with a friend of mine, Anita, and she had gone through traumatic childhood sexual trauma. Okay. And she was doing a lot of different healing modalities. It was really weird how we met and it connected. And the day I met her, I said, I'm going to paint you. And she didn't know what I did.
Right.
And after spending, I went there to do 2 hours of henna. I wound up being there until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And they said, we were looking for a healing body painter and we didn't know it existed. So months later, we're on in the Hamptons.
You showed me this.
Yeah, we're filming, and it was probably like the most. I can't believe that the healing was caught on film.
Oh wow.
In
It was
a good way.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen. I haven't seen myself
At work. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it was really moving. I mean, she kept coming out of her body to heal, and I'd catch her, and she'd come back in, and she was at one point. Just in the bathroom trying to get it all out, and it was, I'd paint her and she'd sweat it off, and I'd paint her, and then at the, when I finally got her painted, we took her down to the ocean and I washed her at the ocean, and the pictures, you saw the pictures, she came out looking like a goddess.
Yeah.
She was glowing.
Yeah, it was very moving photos.
And she had said it was an amazing healing for her. It's not me saying it. It's people coming back to tell me. So I'm not going to say that. It's hard for me to say that I'm a healer. I'm just redirecting the energy that's coming through, I guess.
Right.
And it was a really beautiful experience. Very tight to this day. And it, like I said, it was shown in the Harlem Film Festival.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's called Touched.
Oh
cool.
wow.
So
And most people don't
Can we
know.
put a link to that video on this thread?
I don't think she has it anywhere to link to it, but we do have some of the work. I was called down in September, to do some work on cancer patients.
Oh wow, yeah.
We do the henna crown.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna show if that's cool. We're gonna show.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I really wish I could do more of that work. I'm trying to.
And I think it's so. Can we show that clip?
Sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna show a clip on the Today Show where you did henna crowning on 5.
Well, there were 5 of us there, and there were 5 patients there. And it was amazing. It's like the woman that I connected with, she had just had a double mastectomy like 2 weeks prior.
Wow.
The strength.
Yeah.
to be there and to tell her story and to sit for the hour and a half that it took for me to do her crown.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
This is an amazing clip. We're only showing a minute of it. We'll put the full. You'll see Margie painting, but we're showing about a minute of it.
It doesn't have to. This is not an excuse to die or to give up. You have Sheila, who gets treatment every month. Kiara had treatment Wednesday. Brittany is 2.5 weeks out from surgery. Carolyn had treatment yesterday. Yesterday. And here we are. Life doesn't stop. So live your life. I want to live.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh, the designs.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
Very time consuming.
Today, I met 4 beautiful women that are going through the same thing I'm going through, They get me. We're sisters.
In case you were wondering, those ladies were getting henna tattoos. It's an ancient form of body art from Egypt and India, and that design will last several weeks. And they ended up not only being just so full of life, but they're going to be lifelong friends, that group. And I left there just back straighter.
Oh. You said, I'm sorry, you said something to us a couple of years ago. You don't know how strong you are until you're tested.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
Yeah,
your only option. And those
That's
women
amazing.
are bright.
Yeah.
That is an amazing piece. And
I just cried. We were there all day, and I'm hearing all their stories, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
The strength that these women have.
And it's funny, we're living in a day and age now where we're starting to embrace alternative medicines to work alongside, conventional, chemotherapy type
Medicines,
treatments.
right.
Right. And it's becoming more and more acceptable.
Right.
I know when my mother was sick, they even had somebody at the hospital who was doing Reiki,
Right.
which was unheard of.
Yeah.
And so I'm surprised. My big question when I saw this, I'm surprised that people aren't banging on your door to come and do all sorts of different, whether it's metaphysical, physical, spiritual, whatever the healing may be. But when you see that video, we were watching it last night, and we were talking about when we were coming down today. The one thing that I picked up on that video was that what I picked up was that staff did not understand your role.
Right.
They just looked at you as an artist applying this incredible thing on these cancer patients,
Right.
and that made them. But you weren't spiritually giving. They didn't know you were spiritually giving yourself.
Right.
They didn't know you were healing. They didn't know the intensity,
outcomes.
right. And I don't think it's their fault.
No.
I just don't think that they knew that. And I think a lot of people don't know what you do. And
You got some pictures of some of the body work that Margie does, right?
oh yeah,
Can we post those?
there's that one that we posted on our Facebook page.
It's
is-
Marley.
Oh, that is powerful.
Beautiful, yeah.
It was on the email that I sent.
Just under
no.
the link to that.
Yeah, you might be able to
movie.
find it just on her Facebook page if you scroll down. But that photo of you with that. That has a story. That has a story behind it.
She's
as well.
amazing.
Yeah. It would be on. Does it have that? Or it's on our Facebook page. It's actually on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll do you.
that'll work.
Yeah.
There's so if you go onto your website, there's so many photos.
My Instagram. My website needs work.
Your Instagram. There's so many photos. There she is. Yeah, she just unbelievable. There we go. So this looks like henna and body art.
It was actually airbrushed. Some of it was airbrushed.
Oh, wow.
And Marley had cancer very, very young.
Wow.
And she's a gymnast now. She's so strong. And there was a thing online about going gold for childhood cancer. And I asked her mom if I could work on Marley. And of course she came in and oh, what do I got to do this, you know, and fussing and
Mom,
That's
you
a
know,
kid.
and then when I painted her and she saw herself,
Yeah.
she went outside like a warrior. She started climbing the buildings outside the house because they had a little low rooftop. She was up on the rooftop. She was running through the garden,
Right.
and you can tell the transformation that happened.
Yeah.
When
Just
she
taking
saw
herself out of her
like that.
body for a period of time.
Well, no, owning your body. This is artwork that's
Right,
on my body.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's what I was saying about the women when I do the work for them. They're seeing. You can look at yourself in the mirror and go, "Oh my God, my boobs are sagging. Who wants to see my ass?" You know, look. We could say all these
I
things
think that
about
same
yourself,
thing every day.
right?
They are.
So, but when you see yourself, that someone took all this time to do this work of art on you,
Yeah.
it's an amazing
Right.
feeling. I did a small movie a few years ago, and I worked with a very good friend of mine, Jessica, and we both talked about our journey. You know, me as a domestic violence survivor, and her as an anorexia survivor. How brave!
Right.
Someone who has anorexia to
Yeah.
do a painting, and she looked like a warrior.
Right.
And she just, I think I was the first person to paint her. She was probably the most body painted model ever.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
And we're very good friends, and we may not be free from all of our
Yeah.
past,
Worries.
but, you know, it definitely keeps us growing
At
and
ease.
Yeah.
and helps us in our healing process.
Do you have, when you go in to do this on a client, do you have an outcome planned? Or is it something that just kind of
happens?
That's a good question. You know, usually I try to interview them,
Right.
talk about what's been going on,
Right.
where do you want to go, what's the story, you
Right.
know, just so I could start to feel them out.
Right.
And then in the course of the week, I just start evolving these ideas. And, you know, sometimes it's, you know, phenomenal. Sometimes it's like the paint was more important than
The design.
The design,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't feel bad about that
Right.
because, like, when I was working on Anita's piece, she kept sweating it off
Right.
because every time I worked on her solar plexus, it would charge her,
Right.
you know, but she needed that work.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes you know, it just takes me a little time to feel like, where do I have to do placements and what am I going to do, and so sometimes I have a sketch, sometimes the sketch goes out the window. It depends on
The mood.
the
And
mood
what
of-
you're feeling.
And the feelings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is all just kind of evolved organically, and you're still.
For me, it's evolved organically, and it's nobody was really talking about it when I was experiencing it.
Right.
So I was kind of like trying to fill in the blanks myself with it. But now you'll see more and more people are talking about this experience. You know, I was Googling healing henna before I came on just to see, you know, what's going on in the world with this. And there were more sites now.
Right.
You know, this is the henna is an ancient tradition. You know, it's over 6,000 years old.
And it's
a
all
root.
That was my
It's
question.
a plant, so
Okay.
it has white flowers on it. It's like a shrub.
Okay.
Okay, it's mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned in the Quran. It's part of. It came from the Middle East because you need to get over 125 degrees to grow this plant.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then the quality of the henna is going to depend on the season, like the rain.
Okay. Like olives, and olive oil.
Yeah,
Right.
your darkness is going to depend on the season.
Oh, kind of like grapes and
All it-
olives.
yeah.
Climate. Yeah.
So
interesting.
Now it came from the Middle East, where you had the Abrahamic religions, right? The Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, right? And then you had trade. You had all kinds of stuff going on at that period of time, where it went to northern Africa, Morocco through the trade route. It went out to India.
Wow.
I think henna is also grown in Australia because
Oh,
it'll
really?
get up to that
Yeah,
temperature.
yeah, in the deserts. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an art form, and you know, there's like, if you mention henna to someone, they say, "Oh, I started Indian wedding," you know.
Yeah.
And I always want to say, but you
It's
know,
so much more.
I've done it at Moroccan weddings. I've done it at Turkish weddings. I've done it at bar mitzvahs. I've done it at so many different events. But see, the thing that ties it all together is this is the original women's art form.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So I think they originally figured out what it does for the body, because it does so many things for the body. It's an herb, right? So it cooled the body.
Right.
So originally they used it to cool the body, right? And then they started putting in their hair because we're in the desert. Let's cool everything off, right?
Yeah.
So I think, that was the first form of it. And then
They
women
got
said,
artistic with it, right?
women said, whoa,
Let's look beautiful.
if it's going to stain,
Yeah.
Right.
let's, play with this a little bit. And, there's even, when they said, I think it was it Esther for Purim?
Oh, yeah.
When they
Queen,
say
Queen Esther.
Right? When they said the maidens
Queen
wanted
Esther?
to be like Esther, it was because they wanted their hands hennaed.
Oh.
Right? So it in the Muslim women have to wear it because their hands are supposed to look like women's hands. So it had each culture except for the Christians. Well, we had this little thing called the Inquisition where everything was wrong.
Yeah.
So that's where the Christians lost touch with it.
Okay.
Henna didn't go over well with...
Didn't go over well. Just another reason to call us a witch.
Wow.
So
Look at that.
That's where it kind of got the kibosh in the Inquisition. So it really is one of those things that was done by the women. So it's really a women's art form. It doesn't belong to any one culture.
Right.
Right? So we'd get together and my daughter's getting married, so we're all going to get together and chit chat and get henna. And how's your brother-in-law? How's this one? How's that one? It
becomes a conversational.
It becomes the thing to do at the party.
Right.
It becomes the blessing before the birth. It becomes, the Moroccans have a lot of spiritual attachment to it. So each culture has their own spin on it.
Right.
Whether it's the Hamsa or the Evil Eye or the Hand of Fatima, it had its own spiritual connotation through all these different religions.
And I think most people, again, I just thought it was like that, it's just another
something
form
you get at a festival, right?
Something at a festival when I get my, hair braided when I'm down in the Caribbean.
That's right. And your ear pierced.
Right. I'm just going to get henna. But your designs are insanely intricate. And you're like, it doesn't take too long. I look at some of your designs, and you have to go onto her Instagram page and see some of these photos. They look like they take hours and hours and hours to do. Even the ones that you said.
But you don't have that time on a human being.
Right. And they're so intricate. How do you decide what the designs are? Look at that. That's more
a body paint. Yeah.
Was that also a healing body paint?
That's Jessica, by the way, the one I was telling you about. From the movie.
Wow.
And that was after I visited Alex Gray's place, Van Wappingers.
Oh,
That's
cool.
what I came back with. And it was just, she was coming by, would you mind, let's do some paint. I was like, okay.
That's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
And that's just what came out.
And is that paint or is that airbrush?
That's all hand painted.
That's all. Oh my God.
Wow.
And how long does a piece like that take?
It depends. Sometimes it goes easy, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that one went pretty easy.
And you
Yeah.
pre-design them, or you just wing it as you go?
Sometimes I'm a good winger.
Looks like it.
That's from what you're saying that you kind of have to be a good winger.
I have a question. Do you paint men at all, or is it?
Yes, I do.
Gypsy.
I'm just asking.
How long have you got?
Is that an ask?
You've shown me a few pictures that were...
I do have a client that is touring all of Europe that I have painted on quite a few occasions. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I've that.
I do have video, Matt. Would you like to see it?
Nope. I have that image burned in my head for the rest of my life. I guess.
Righty then.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at elephant.
Oh God.
I see where you were going with it. No, I'm asking because I want to be healed, not because I want to see dude being painted. Jesus Christ, that went over my head. No, I'm saying, does it work? Does it because it's such a spiritual practice that's generally concentrated towards women? Does it have the same effect on men?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. I think maybe we should do that on the next show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll paint Gypsy, and you guys just banter along until he's done, and we'll ask him, "How do you feel?"
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We should revisit this, and I know like you're gonna get some henna done today. I don't think we'll have the time to do it, but it would be cool. It would be cool if we could somehow even get Juju and like do something. I'm not sure what model that's going to take, but it'd be really neat to see you do your work and
Absolutely.
How long does
Love to
the
come back.
henna stain for? How long does it
About
last?
10 days to 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
You know, because the question always is it
If it's
temporary
showering,
or
right.
is it permanent?
Right.
Well, the answer really is it's permanent.
Right.
However,
The effects are.
the metaphysical part is.
however, you lose your skin. Every
Right.
3-4 weeks, you shed your skin.
Okay.
So since it's only the epidermis, the top layer, the trick is to get the tannin molecules to leave out of the plant and bind with the keratin in your skin.
Okay.
Now, what if you have dark skin?
Then you have a dark henna.
Okay, so it can go in
It's
different.
dyeing your skin.
Okay.
So no matter what color your skin is, it's dyeing it.
It's going to dye it.
You know, the henna itself is now bound to that first layer, and as you exfoliate and as you shed is when you lose it.
Right.
Like we always just say, oh, it's a temporary tattoo, and I thought about that, and I said, no, actually, it's not.
It's
That's
not.
right.
You know,
And you were saying it's an herb, which probably has a whole bunch of different organic
not, you know.
compounds in it, and that gets absorbed into the skin. So who?
Well, it's also used for other things. You know, you could put henna in your hair to remove lice. It helps build up the texture of your hair when you henna your hair.
I'd love
It could be used for eczema. It could be. I'm going to henna your head, baby.
You could do
Don't
henna-
go nowhere. Can we get a camera?
Henna hair? Is that henna hair?
Oh,
Yeah,
we
it's-
should
it's
both
very-
get. That's what we should do. We should get henna hair.
henna hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Could be a while.
Yeah. Big brush.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling like as this goes out, people are going to want to get in touch with you.
I hope so.
What's the best way to get in touch with you if they want some kind of healing work done, whether it's body paint, henna, or
Well,
whatever else?
my Instagram is my name,
Okay, and we will post that.
and
Margie Nugent.
It's
not nougat.
not
nugget.
nougat, not nugget, not
It's like Ted Nugent.
nougat. Not like Ted.
Not like Ted. Definitely not
But
like
yeah,
Who's Ted?
yeah, who's Ted?
Ted. He's a former rap star.
That's like the most asked question of my life. It's like you go to motor
Really?
vehicle and they're like Ted. It's like no matter where you go, as long as they're over a certain age,
He's-
because
he's-
now that whole question is aging out.
Right.
He's a famous.
He's not
He's a famous
about-
It's
rocker.
like you with Froman.
He's not really relevant.
Like Abe.
Does
Abe
it?
Froman?
Abe
Abe
Froman?
Froman.
Sausage King of Chicago? No, nothing about
Nothing.
it. Nothing.
Don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I need henna healing for.
What's that, baby?
For years of Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. But
honestly, I would have loved to be known as the Sausage King.
I actually have.
I'm just
Can we
saying.
put that picture up?
Could be much worse,
That
right?
could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. You're right.
I would have embraced that.
Yeah.
It's better than the cocktail
So would
weenie.
Ma- so
the
would
cocktail
Margie.
weenie king. Or,
Yeah,
you know.
that's right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
This is not about me. So,
So
awesome.
send me an email. Email is the best way.
we will put all of the contact information.
People come to you, or you'll go visit them.
I do both.
Yeah.
I'm also on the road teaching.
Oh, cool.
I have a program I do in all the libraries.
Okay.
I teach the teenagers because
Great.
I want to keep this alive.
Yeah.
And I teach at conventions. I'm going to Austin at the ACE convention in July.
Oh wow.
I'm doing some co-teaching up in Connecticut in March.
Wow.
Let's see. I am also going on the road to teach, so I'm trying to find places where I can set up and teach, or if you have a yoga studio or
Yeah.
a metaphysical store or someplace that you would like me to come and set up for a while in henna.
And please
I've done
have
it in
some
Lord
art
and
skills.
Taylor's. I've done it like at.
Well, that's the great thing about this. It's mobile.
I'm so mobile.
It's mobile. You know.
But I love meeting new people, so it really fulfills that part of meeting. I'm always at a party.
Right. Yeah, right.
It's always a good time when henna's coming around.
There you
right?
go. Game on.
So yeah, I'm looking for more places to be and more things to do.
So-
And I started doing product. I started doing henna on glass work,
Oh, cool.
and I've burned boots with henna designs.
Oh, wow.
And a what do you call it? The petrograph or the
A petroglyph.
wood burner? Yeah. So
Or
like a wood,
a solder iron.
no, like a wood burner.
Like a wood burner.
Yeah. So I'm always looking for places to put more henna.
All right. So So you live in Mount Kisco,
I
which
do.
is just outside of New York City, Westchester County, easy
Yeah.
to get to, right
Yeah.
on the train.
And like I said, I'm also mobile. I go tri-state, and I'm trying to put together a little tour going down south this year because my son is graduating college.
Hey,
buddy.
that's awesome.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You can henna.
So I figure I can henna on the way down.
2018 across his head.
Graduate.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap up on that note.
Thanks again, Margie.
Margie, awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
You definitely have to
So
come
appreciate
back.
it. I will. I
There's a
promise.
lot more to visit, and if you need to get in touch with her, please reach out. We'll have everything on our website. We'll have it on our social media. Make sure that you follow us as well.
roadsontheroad.com or Facebook Experience.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're on iTunes, go onto iTunes and review us. We need some reviews. So we're just finally on iTunes for our podcast. So
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Margie, awesome. Thank you so much. You're the best. And
carry on.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Rogues on the Road with Matt Froman and Rich Marshall, where we talk food, travel, craft beverages, and everything in between.